Blog Talk Radio conversation called The Question. Currently broadcasting weekdays, Monday through Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. I'm Doug Pagitt. I'm your host each weekday for the full hour, joined in the second half of the show by a guest host. And that guest host today is Steve Scherber. We talk about home repair, home remodeling, home rebuilding, and all that kind of thing. We are inviting you to join in on the show any way you'd like. You're welcome to just listen in. Some of you I know are listening in on the archives. Keep up the workouts. Some of you would like to chat your way in to the chat rooms. They're both available at blogtalkradio.com/Doug Pagitt. Or you are welcome to join in on the Ustream video feed. That's Ustream with just the letter U.tv/channel/Doug Pagitt. And you're welcome to join in the chat room there. Or, even better, you're welcome to call in on the studio line, which is 646-929-1199. Would love to have you aboard. This is currently a weekday broadcast with each day having a guest host. As I mentioned today, we're going to have Steve Scherber on it, talking about home repair, home remodeling, and that kind of thing. We are joined on Thursdays by Carla Barnhill to talk about parenting. We are joined on Fridays by me as a guest host and host. Talking about local politics in Minnesota. On Mondays, we talk about natural health. On Tuesdays, we talk about religion. Mondays is with natural health coach Shelley Pagitt, and Tuesdays is with theologian Tony Jones. Now, a little program note. In the next week or so, maybe next week, maybe the following week, we are going to be going to a one-day-a-week summer schedule. So the show will be broadcast for 2 solid hours, 1 day a week. And I'm still deciding on what day of the week that is. So if you want to chime in, let me know. Maybe I'll start a poll. I'm thinking it's going to be Monday or Tuesday. Those days seem to produce the highest number of callers and highest number of listeners. But what I don't know is if that's topic related or if that's best day of the week related. But either way you slice it, I'm thinking you take the highest day. What you think? I mean, I might be new to doing broadcast radio from my home on blogtalkradio.com, but I didn't fall off the turnip truck just yesterday, and I think you pick the day that has the highest number of listeners. That's Monday or Tuesday. So it looks like the show is going to be Monday or Tuesday, and I'm debating if I keep it at the same time here in the morning. I very well may, or we might have to move it to an evening slot. I think this show would have an interesting vibe to it if it were an evening show. In fact, I've been thinking about a 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. show. Now, it's a little tougher for the guest host. That's why I picked the time that I did, really to accommodate the guest host. But I think it would be kind of fun to do a 10 at night show. Sort of Venus flytrap from old WKRP. show. So I'd be interested in your input and your feedback on that. You can chat that into either of the chat rooms. You can call that in to the studio line at 646-929-1199 if you would like to. So I'd be glad to hear what you all are thinking about the best time for the show. Or Blake, just you. Maybe you could chat it on in because I know you are always faithful, and I would just as soon say, hey, Blake, what about you? Monday, Tuesday, what would work out best for you? 10 to 11 in the morning, 10 to 11 at night. I mean, I'm willing to bite off a few things. Now, I want to tell you why, because we're taking a little road trip this summer. I'm going to be touring around the country promoting my book, A Christianity Worth Believing. I'm going to be doing it through what I call live occurrences. These live occurrences are sort of like a one-man show, but in my case, there's going to be two of us. So I'm going to be tooling around the country, and would love to have you join in that effort if you'd like to. I'm trying to find the specific schedule, which I thought I had right here. I think I know where it is. I think it's out here. See, this is the great thing about broadcast radio the way I have it is you're not supposed to be able to see me get up and walk around. It really shouldn't matter to you what I'm doing other than the fact that we have that live video feed going on. And those of you who are watching on the YouTube channel, glad to have you aboard as well. This is a radio program that you're watching, so don't get yourself confused. Well, I can't find my copy of the schedule. In fact, I'm feeling the need to straighten around my office a little bit. I could show this to you, but I have an L-shaped desk, so I could turn this way and work on the desk over here. I could be over here, and you can kind of see I've ended up accumulating quite a pile over there, and I don't like piles. All those things, I thought, well, I'll just set this here for a minute because I know I'm going to have to get to it in a second. And now it's filling up with stuff that obviously I didn't have to get to a second ago. I don't know about the rest of you, how you manage your time like that, but it's I end up leaving things on my desk, in my inbox, and on my voicemail that I really shouldn't. I mean, I should really clear it out of there, and I don't. Like sometimes I reply to an email and I don't delete it out of my inbox. You know what I should have a feature. Maybe there's a script in MacMail. Maybe some of you know this. Maybe there's a script in MacMail where once I reply, it will automatically delete the email. And, put it in my trash, and I could find it over there if I want to. If I want to have it later. I bet there's something like that. There should be a setting, automatically move to trash after replying. Come on. That would help. Help a guy like me anyway. Might not help all the rest of you, but would help a guy like me. So what we do here on the show is we talk about things going on. We talk about things that are happening. We talk about things going on in the news. We talk about things going on in your life, in my life, in the lives of the people around this world. And then we make comments about them. And then in the second half of the show, we're joined where we talk about the particular topic. Today we'll be talking about home purchasing, home buying, home remodeling, that kind of thing. Sort of a little late to the flip your house phenomena, though. That's what's funny about it. Not that's not really what we're doing here, but it would have been apropos for us to have hit that. Hit that market early on. So a couple of things going on in the news that we'll get to here after the first break at 10 minutes, and that's going to be a number of legal issues that I think are worth commenting on. More about the lack of safety that we find in small aircrafts, and then a couple of things going on in technology and things going on up in outer space. So, there's, look, where do you get that kind of breadth in a 30-minute morning? Well, NPR, but other than that, where? Oh, okay, your RSS feeder with your news feeds and podcasts. But other than that, okay, so maybe you've got cable television. You can watch MSNBC or CNN or something. But other than those places, other than the internet, cable television, and National Public Radio, where do you get the kind of breadth that you get on this TV show? I like to ask you, huh? You tell me, people. That's why we do what we do around here every day. That's why we'll be doing it on a weekly basis, even through the summer when it couldn't be more difficult. We will be kicking it up. So glad to have you aboard, and would love to have your comments on any of these topics and your call in. I feel like in the last month, the call-ins have really dried up, and I'm wondering if it's something that I'm doing. I start to think maybe I'm not facilitating callers well enough onto the show. I think some of it might have to do with 10 a.m. in the morning is a difficult time for live listeners because there's so many people who listen on the. I bet people are listening on the archives, and they're doing their little workout, they're doing their little treadmills, or they're doing their power walking, or they're whatever it is that people do when they listen to the show. They tell me they listen to it when they're working out. I don't know, however they're doing this, and they're probably thinking, oh man, I should listen live. I'd love to call in. Just assuming that that's the case. Well. Live listeners know that you're free to call in anytime. And archive listeners, come see us some morning. If we're still on in the mornings, I'm going to announce next week. I've got a little figuring out to do if it's going to be next week, if it's going to be in the morning, or if it's going to be in the evening. But one way or the other, the Blog Talk Radio conversation called The Question with me, Doug Pagitt, your host, will be around in the summer on the weekly format. So those of you who are listening on the Blog Talk side, you can just keep on listening. Those of you who are watching on the Ustream side, you can. If you are now watching this on an archive on YouTube, you're going to have to go to the new video here after the break. News brought to you on The Question by the Onion Radio Network.
The U.S. interstate system to create